Today on Maple Street, we are talking about 7 movies I recommend you buy in this Criterion sale. I didn't realize until preparing this video that I have an unintentional tradition on this channel, and that is every summer I've released a Criterion recommendation video. I've been doing this since June of 2020, and so we're going to continue the tradition. July 2023, here are 7 Criterions I recommend you buy. Now this is obviously relevant right now for the July 50% off sale. However, it applies anytime you're wanting to buy a Criterion, anytime there's a sale. These are just 7 movies that I recommend you purchase. I've created a letterbox list with all my past recommendations from other years' videos, and so if you want to check out that list, the link for that will be in the description below. Also, one final note, I like showing the physical copies in this video. However, I'm in the process of moving right now, and so I don't have my Criterions with me. And so for this video, I'll just be showing a picture of them on the screen. I wish I could show a physical copy because it's just so much more authentic, but we're gonna have to do it with the pictures. So as always, we're going in spine order. The first one is spine number 288. This is F for Fake. F for Fake is a film lover's dream. It is all about forgery and what is real, what is fake. But on top of that, if you're a YouTuber and you like to edit videos, this will be perfect for you. I know that for me, at least when I was watching this, I had so many ideas and almost epiphanies of just like, oh my goodness, like I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Orson Welles is so great at creating visuals that take you away, and his voice is so iconic too. So hearing the narration while seeing these visuals, it's just incredible. It's a movie that, yes, there's a plot there, there's a story going, and it's actually a pretty clever one too, but I think the visuals are just as important as the story that it's telling. The visuals are why the story works. My next recommendation is spine number 703. This is The Freshman. The Freshman is my favorite Harold Lloyd movie. It's also declared my favorite silent film as of right now. It's just very funny, and I mean that. There are a lot of movies that come out from the silent era that it's kind of slapstick humor, and so you look at it and you're like, haha, that's good, I appreciate that. But The Freshman is genuinely funny for me, where I actually laughed out loud numerous times just because of all the situations that Harold Lloyd gets himself into. There's a very funny scene involving a suit and a dance. Then the football game is obviously the most iconic part of the movie. And I think it's very funny too. Like, it is a funny sequence seeing the football game. There are plenty of other funny sequences, but what makes it work so well is Harold Lloyd's acting. He's very good at doing this concerned, almost worried look that makes any situation he's in 10 times funnier. And so this movie is good for a combination of funny gags, silly situations, and Harold Lloyd's acting. Next up, I have spine 750. It is Ride the Pink Horse. This is a noir film starring Robert Montgomery. I went into it for him and Thomas Gomez. It's a bit of a refreshing noir film because instead of taking place on the mean streets at night of a popular city, it actually takes place in a Mexican village. So you get new scenery already, which is very refreshing, but you also have a story that depends on the setting, and so you're getting a new story as well. For that, this noir sticks out amongst others. While I liked Robert Montgomery, I'm more of a fan of him when he's playing a comedic role, and he's very serious in this movie. So for me personally, the standout was Thomas Gomez. I know about Thomas Gomez, he's in a few Twilight Zone episodes, and then I've seen him in Key Largo as well, and anytime I see him, I just think he does such a good job. In this movie specifically, he plays a supporting character named Pancho. Really good guy. There's a particular scene with Pancho that will definitely move you, at least it moved me, and so watch this movie for the refreshing take on noir films and for the characters. Next up, spine number 828. It is Ingrid Bergman, In Her Own Words. This is for all you Ingrid Bergman fans out there. Obviously, it's not going to work for everyone, but if you are a fan of Ingrid Bergman, then I highly recommend this one. It's a very cozy viewing experience. I like picturing that when I rewatch this, I'll save it for a rainy day, I'll have a blanket and some hot chocolate or something. The movie is all about her life. It documents her life from the time before she was famous to how she got famous to after being famous, and it doesn't hold back either. It's not like it only praises Ingrid Bergman. There were parts that I really appreciated where you actually hear from the children about how, yeah, our mom was gone a lot. She was out filming these movies, she left us, and we would have had a better childhood had she been with us. I like that they're true to the beauties of Hollywood, but they don't pass up the horrors of Hollywood either. If you're a fan of Ingrid Bergman, it should be a no-brainer. Definitely pick this one up. Next one I'm talking about is spine number 881. This is actually a trilogy. It is the Marseille Trilogy. This trilogy includes Marius, Fanny, and Caesar. So technically I have more than 7 movies I'm recommending to you today. I really like this trilogy though. It follows a family for an entire trilogy. One movie focuses on Marius, that's the first one of course, and it's centered on his decision between do I choose the girl or the ocean, which I love so much. The second one focuses on Fanny, that's actually the girl that he's focused on in the first one, and it's about her woes. I don't want to spoil anything, so it's about the struggles that she's going through. And the third one is about Caesar, who's the father of Marius. And although these are the main characters of each of their films, I definitely think each movie is well balanced. Like in the first movie, it's not like it's only about Marius. You also see plenty of Caesar, plenty of Fanny, plenty of the other side characters in this small town, and I loved it. It's this really underrated trilogy that not a lot of people have heard about. I would have never heard about this had it not been for the Criterion Collection. But what's so sweet about the trilogy is you get to know these characters so well. By the time you're on the third one, you love them so much. You're with them in the funny moments, you laugh with them, you're with them in the sad moment, and you feel the heartbreak that they experience. I felt so at home watching these movies. I highly recommend them. Next one is Spy Number 955. It is Panic. Panic is a movie that I actually watched with my friend Nick Acosta, and we were both thoroughly engaged in this film. And Nick said it perfectly when he said that this is a perfect example of a telephone game gone wrong. You know that old telephone game where you whisper something into the friend's ear and they continue to whisper it, 20 people later it gets back to you and the message is completely different? That is a great example of what Panic is. The movie is all about some information being spread. The town is the central antagonist of gossip and ridiculing this main character that we love so much. And one thing leads to the next. It is a frustrating watch, but I'm grateful that it affected me the way it did. It's also a perfect example of one of those movies where you see the true nature of a person, how fast they're willing to turn on someone. And there's just a lot of messed up people in this one. So if you're wanting a movie that kind of hits you in the core, I would suggest this one. And my final recommendation for this year goes to Spy Number 1089. It is Afterlife. Afterlife poses a very interesting question, one that you ask yourself as you're watching it, but it remains with you long after viewing it. The movie follows people who have recently passed on. Before they go on to the afterlife, they're actually sent to a limbo sort of place where they have several days to choose one memory from their life. This memory is crucial because it's the one memory they hold on to for the rest of eternity when they're in the afterlife. And so while you're watching it, you're not only intrigued and affected by the memories that these characters choose, but you also can't help but think about your own life. If I were in this situation, what memory would I choose to hold on to for eternity? Very interesting in that regard. I also find it fascinating that the filmmakers, they purposely chose a mix of actors and real people. Because of that, it almost leaves the realm of a narrative film and goes into a documentary, because you're hearing these real people actually choose real memories from their lives. They're still contained in the narrative that is Afterlife. However, there's that sense of realism because they're actually talking about things that pertain to them. And I thought that was so cool. It's a slower moving film, but I never felt bored. I think the idea kept me engaged the whole time. Also, a little shout out to Splash Mountain. I love that it's mentioned in this movie. If you're wondering what you should pick up, I hope these movies helped you out. Make sure to pay a visit to my Criterion playlist here on YouTube where I recommend other movies and just talk about Criterions in general. Also, check out that Letterboxd list where I show past recommendations from other years. Thank you all so much for visiting Maple Street. I hope you have a great day.